So, good morning, everyone. Can you hear me? Just a minute, we'll see whether. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, ma, thank you. Still, we have only 49 to 50 members are there. Okay, we'll start. So, welcome back to this online artificial intelligence classes. We have been discussing about various resolution mechanisms, and among the resolution mechanisms, we started with a natural reduction system, and then you have seen an axiomatic system, and the third mechanism that we have seen on Saturday is a resolution mechanism. So a resolution mechanism is a mechanism where it will try to take input as your innate natural language statements. It will take some statements in English and convert these statements into something called as predicate logic, or we call it as first order logic. So from this first order logic, we try to take some inferences. So you need to understand we are there in the second method actually. This is the second inference mechanism. The first inference mechanism talks about you represent the statements directly in the terms of symbols. We try to infer. The second method, you take some language like English, convert that statements into first order logic. From that, you try to have some inferences. This is the second method. This is the third method where you write the statement and you try to understand the meaning of the statement. That is the first thing. You try to understand the meaning of the statement with respect to the context in which people are talking. This is the second thing. You try to understand the meaning of the sentence based on the first part, predecessor and successor. So that is the third method. Like how do you understand a paragraph or set of statements or set of related statements and try to infer something. So we are in the second method, like we try to convert English statements into first order logic statements. From the first order logic statements, we will try to infer something that is called as inference. So this is what we have seen in the last class, where we have seen about a common and universal inference mechanism called as natural reduction system, where every operator or every operator like and, or, and, implication, bijection, every symbol is accepted, and all the inference rules starting from 1 to 9 or 1 to 7, whatever it may be the numbering, so all these inference rules are accepted. We call that as a natural reduction system. Almost we have taken 3 classes for this natural reduction system. An axiomatic system is a system where only one symbol is allowed, and you have some rule called as P to Q, and P, the inference is Q. This is the only inference rule you have to use. And we have also taken almost 3 classes for this. Even Saturday in the evening we have done some problems regarding this NDS and axiomatic system. So most probably by the time we are going into this resolution mechanism, you should know about this NDS and AS, and particularly you need to practice some exercise problems that are there in the textbook, whether it is a Rich and Knight or Sahani, whatever it may be, you have to take it and practice. Then only you can understand the beauty of the concept, and you can understand this inference in depth. So we have solved many problems regarding NDS as well as axiomatic search. And now in this Saturday, I have introduced this concept like how do you convert a set of related statements into the first order logic. We will do the same class because on the day when I have taken this class, we have at most 35 or 36 students. So I have to repeat this class again, so that this class, like understanding this class is very important, because based on the understanding of this class, you have almost 3 or 4 classes in connected with this class. I could see only 81 students are there. It is surprising. Like I had yesterday that in the morning also you are attending, but this is a poor attendance as per this class is concerned. Anyway, we are least bothered about people who have not attended the class, but we'll just maintain the attendance, because we'll see how many people are joining at some point of time, because the attendance will come with respect to the way in which you join and the way which you end the meeting. So this type of statements will be given and you will be asked many questions. So as far as the syllabus is concerned, for every question there is an answer called as true or false. It is 1 or 0. So what is that we do in the class is we take each statement, convert these statements into first order logic, then we try to solve the problem by using resolution mechanism. The first thing is you convert these statements into first order logic, convert that first user based on the first order logic, we try to infer something. So this is what it is. So for doing this, most of the time, because all the statements that I have taken are same statement that you have done in your discrete mathematics. So you know that something like if I have a statement called as Rama is a boy in predicate logic, because your general item here is a boy, you can represent like this. This is how your first order predicate logic will work. This is what you have done in discrete mathematics also. A boy of Rama. So something like I write something like Rama is reading. Many times my predicate will be something called as verb, and a specific instance is Rama. So if I have a statement called as everybody is reading, then the meaning will change, because you are talking about all. See, I say Rama is running fast. Can somebody tell me how can I represent this in the terms of first order logic that you have done in your discrete mathematics? Rama is running fast. So how can you represent this statement in first order logic? See, you have a verb called as run. So who is running? Rama is running. How he is running is, this is how we can represent this statement in the terms of first order logic. So intentionally I have taken here a generalized term. Here I have taken a verb. So if I say everyone is running fast, so everyone is running fast, then how can you represent this statement? Can somebody just unmute and tell? Or everybody is running fast? So what is that you have to take is you have to take a universal quantifier for all x. Everyone, x is everyone and everyone is running fast. This is how you can represent. So it depends upon how do you take some statement and how do you represent, and then how do you proceed. if I wish to have many statements, you can have, because all this are done in your discrete mathematics. There is no need that we have to discuss again. Just consider this is for all. For all x, everyone, since everyone is there, so I have done this x. X is a universal quantifier. So that is have represented as this one, because this is a symbol that for all x, everyone is running fast. All are running fast. That's what it is. So if I say everyone in Bhimbaram are running fast, so if this is the statement that you have to consider, there is a condition that some person who is staying in Bhimbaram, if that person is staying in Bhimbaram, obviously he is running fast. So again, everyone they said, so obviously I will take some universal quantifier. If this person belongs to x belongs to Bhimbaram, then will runs fast. Slowly you will understand how this logic will work. Based on we'll just practice this type of problems, and then we'll understand this, because all this first order logic was done in detail in your discrete mathematics. We will go in the same phase. So what is that we do in A is, based on this first order logic, we try to infer something. So this is what it is. Still 113 or that. This is a very important class. Okay. Now see this slide now. This slide I have used earlier in the class, the same class that I have taken on Saturday also. So the same slide I have come. The reason is the same example will be used many times. So understanding of this class is very important, because the classes that I have planned for tomorrow, day after tomorrow, even until Saturday will be in the same lines. Every time I talk about Marcus, and every time I will talk about Caesar with a different type of statements, but the inferences may be the same. But the procedure to adopt or to arrive at that inferences will be different. So I will just read the statements. Marcus was a man. Marcus was a Pompeian. All Pompeians are Romans. Caesar was a ruler. All Romans were either loyal to Caesar or hated him. Everyone is loyal to someone. People only try to assassinate rulers they are not loyal to. Marcus tried to assassinate Caesar. And there is a question like, Marcus is loyal to Caesar or not? So this is, now you need to just tell me what question can be answered and what question cannot be answered. Can somebody just unmute yourself and answer the query? Can somebody unmute yourself and answer this query like okay, you cannot see this slide. Okay, now you can see this. So based on the statements that are given from A to H, they have asked three questions. Like, what was the first question is, was Marcus loyal to Caesar? Is it right or wrong?
Right.
See, if he is loyal to Caesar, does Marcus has assassinated Caesar? He tried to attack him.
No, sir.
See here, people only try to assassinate rulers they are not loyal to. Marcus tried to assassinate Caesar. So was Marcus was loyal to Caesar?
No, sir.
No.
No, sir.
So what you said is right. This is no. But this no is with 100% guarantee, or there is some probability that was involved.
100%, sir.
Yes, what you said is right. So now you see here, Marcus was a man, Marcus was a Pompeian. All Pompeians are Romans. Is Marcus a Roman?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Sir. Sir.
What you said is right. So is Caesar a Roman? Can you answer this query?
We can't say it, sir.
Yes.
Answer.
It's, see, if you read the statements and understand the statements in the terms of context, I can answer that query. But see, as per the statements in the terms of ones and zeros are concerned, whether it is a true or false are concerned, it's very difficult to answer this query. You can answer this query if you have additional knowledge, but there is no other knowledge. This is a knowledge from A to H. You cannot answer this query whether the Caesar is a Roman or not. That is the reason I said you have a third inference mechanism where it will read the statement, it will understand the statement, it will understand the statement in the terms of context, and it will understand the statement in the terms of what is the successor statement, what is the predecessor statement. So what is the before statement, what is the after statement, and then what is the context of these statements, and what is the meaning of statement. So that will have a different, that system will answer this query, not this system. So as per this system is concerned, it cannot answer this query. So many times what does your resolution mechanism will do is, when the question was asked, so we take the negation of that query and just we travel from bottom to top. That is a different thing. But as per this class is concerned, what is that we are trying to do is we are converting all the statements from A to H to a first order logic. Even the question I will take is, was Marcus was loyal to Caesar? I will take only these queries because these two are first one is the second one is very simple. The last one cannot be answered. So I will take only this query: was Marcus loyal to Caesar? And based on that, we try to convert every statement into first order logic. Then we will see how do can be done. So the first statement that is here is Marcus was a man. So simple, what is that you need to do is you need to convert each statement in the terms of first order logic. So Marcus was a man, man was more general, the specific instance is Marcus. So how can I convert? Please just tell me. See, Rama is a boy. Boy is more general, instance, a specific instance is Rama. So Marcus was a man. So what is more general in this statement? Is this right? Is this right?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So if this is right, then see the next statement. A Marcus was a Pompeian. So how can I write this? See, Rama was an Indian or something like that. Rama is an Indian. Indian is more general. Is it right? So Marcus was a Pompeian. How can I write this? Pompeian of Marcus, because Marcus was an instance. Every time this is an instance. So all these are very simple. Now see here. All Pompeians were Romans. So you have a quantifier here that says all of them, for all. There is other quantifier, existential quantifier was there. There exists someone. So this is all, for all should be there. So all Pompeians were Romans. If you are a Pompeian, it is must that you are a Roman. If Pompeian, then he is a Roman. So how do you convert this statement now? See, in the earlier slide, you have written Pompeian of Marcus. Marcus was a person and Marcus was an instance. So there is no problem as far as this is concerned because all these are simple statements. But here you are connecting, you are talking in general. This Pompeian can be Marcus at some point of time. That can be an instance. So all Pompeians were Romans. How can I write this? For all is there. So is it existential quantifier or universal quantifier will come?
Universal, sir.
Yes, I assume that this is. So what you said is right. So this is a universal quantifier. Just assume that V is a universal quantifier. So now the condition is very simple. All Pompeians were Romans. If you are a Pompeian, the meaning is you are a Roman. So how can I write this? What symbol will convey the information? Like if I am a Pompeian, then I am a Roman. Which symbol will tell you that? So what some girl is telling is right. X is a Pompeian, then X must be a Roman. So just a minute. Okay. If X is a Pompeian, then X must be a Roman. If you are a Pompeian, then something was there that is called as Roman. So this implication will come here because this implication will play a major role when you try to combine and just implicate, because P implies Q, you will get Q. So the third, this is a specific instance, this is a specific instance. Here you are talking generally, this will make a significant impact at some point of time. So Pompeian of X, this Pompeian X can have different values. At that moment, X can have a value called as Marcus. So this is very simple. Just tell me what is this predicate logic for this first order predicate logic? Caesar was a ruler. So how can I write?
Ruler of Caesar.
Just what she told is right. So in general, we try to generalize this. In the braces, we try to specify the item. Many times we take a verb and write if you have more than one parameter. See, ruler has only one parameter at this moment. Now, so as per the first four statements are concerned, this statement is important because this statement is talking about many people, not only about Marcus or not only about Caesar. All this A, B, C, they are only talking about specific instances. Caesar was a ruler, Marcus was a Pompeian, Marcus was a man, something like that. So now we'll go to the next part. Like this is a very important statement. All Romans were either loyal to Caesar or hated him. All Romans were either loyal to Caesar or hated him. How many actions are there? How many outputs are there for the statement?
Two, sir.
Yes. The two are, you are a Roman. If you are a Roman, then two outputs are there. The first output is you are loyal to the ruler or you are hating the ruler. That's what it is. But you need to understand he is not talking about either Marcus or somebody. He is talking about all Romans in specific. And at some point of time, the instance can be Marcus. We will take that at a later stage. So all Romans were either loyal to Caesar or hated him. It's very important statement as far as this example and resolution mechanism is concerned, because it consists of two actions with parameters. Till now here you see here Pompeian is having single parameter called as x, and Roman is a function containing only single parameter. Man of Marcus is a function with single parameter. So now here uh, since verbs are coming into play and adjectives are also coming into play, then we need to have, then we can have more than one parameter. So you need to tell me two actions somebody said is right. So you are a Roman, you are loyal, at the same time you can also hate. Two functions I have taken. So who is loyal to whom? Yes. See, the outcome is loyal is there. Who, somebody is loyal to whom? Caesar. Somebody is hating whom? Is again Caesar. Who is that somebody who is hating or who is loyal?
Romans.
Yes. But what type of instance we need for Romans? Is it a specific instance, or is it for all our existential quantifier? All Romans. Yes, all, you need to have all. So the output is same. Now you need to tell me uh, this can be joined with R. The reason is I said all Romans either loyal to Caesar or hated him. So second part is right. What is the first part? The first part is, since we are talking about X in the terms of Romans, so for all should come, and X is for all. So now how can I connect all the statements? All Romans were either loyal to Caesar or hated him. So how can you connect this action part and the first part that we start? If you are a Roman, then two types of outputs are possible. If you are a Roman, then you are either loyal or hated him. So what should I write here?
Roman of X.
Yes. If you are Roman, then these two are possible. Whether you are loyal to him or you hate him. So X is general and the next parameter is specific. So now you need to understand here, I have taken a function with two parameters. Loyal is a function which will take two parameters called as X and Caesar. Caesar is a specific instance. Caesar is talking about ruler. X can be anybody in Romans. He can be Caesar, he can be Marcus or any other person. So hate is the same thing. Hate is also a function which has two parameters. You need to understand here. The reason is, once you use loyal somewhere after this statement, you need to see that loyal can have two statements, or you need to change that loyal one or loyal two to accommodate the different parameters. So hate is a function which consists of two parameters at this moment. If you have a hate after this statement also, you need to ensure that two parameters must be there. Okay, this is what it is. So if you understood this, this statement is very important. Coming to this earlier slide, so the third statement we said, and the fifth statement, these two statements are very important. So we will see the next statement now. Everyone is loyal to someone is a statement. It was given just to introduce some quantifiers to this particular statements. Everyone is loyal to someone is a general statement. So what is that you need to understand here is what is the function that you must use in this statement. Can somebody tell?
Loyal.
Yes, earlier slide I have used loyal. For loyal, how many parameters are there?
Two, sir.
2. The same here again. Loyal has come, so loyal must have 2. If you have a statement where loyal has 3 statements, 3 different parameters, then you can rename this as loyal 1 and that one as loyal 0 or something like that. So just you need to unmute yourself. Okay. So everyone is loyal to someone. So 2 quantifiers you need to have. First quantifier is universal, that is everyone. Other quantifier is someone. It is universal and it is existential. So how can I write this? If I say loyal of x comma y, the reason is x value is not given specifically, y value also not given. Here all Romans are either loyal to Caesar or hated him. So y value was given straight away. It is Caesar. But in the next slide, nothing. It is a general statement. X is loyal to Y. Everyone is loyal to someone. So what is the quantifier that X has to be? Is it for all or is it existential? Everyone, what you said is right. So everyone is loyal to, you assume that this is existential quantifier.
Y.
Yes. So this assume that this is a universal quantifier and this is existential quantifier. So this statement has valid and this statement has 2 parameters, x and y. X can be Marcus and y can be Caesar at some point of time. It depends upon how do you use that values. So this statement is very important and the next statement is important in the terms of representation, but we will see now the next one. So people only try to assassinate rulers they are not loyal to. The meaning is people try to attack the rulers when they are not loyal to. People only try to assassinate rulers they are not loyal to. So this is what it is. But you need to understand here, there is a ruler that was specified in this entire discussion. That ruler is Caesar. But as far as this statement is concerned, again this statement is very general. Like he's not talking about either Marcus or he is not talking about either Caesar. It is a general statement where it says they will assassinate if they are not loyal to. So what is the outcome and how do you proceed? If you write this statement properly, obviously we are well versed with the first order logic. See here, what is the common point that we can understand here? Loyal is there again. Loyal earlier has taken 2 parameters, is it right? The same loyal will come. What is loyal here?
Negation.
Yes, what you said is right. You have to use a negation here. So who has assassinated actually? Who has attacked whom?
People attack rulers.
So X if I say X is people, because it is general, if I say Y is a ruler, assassinate, if I take, it will have two parameters. So if the assassinate, what is the meaning? The outcome is loyal is there. Since I have used this loyal earlier, I will use this loyal with two parameters again. But as per as your classmate has told, this has to be negation because they are not loyal to, that's what they said. So this part is right, but this part is not complete. People only try to assassinate rulers they are not loyal to. Is the statement is right? What is X? X variable represents whom?
People.
Yes. Y variable?
Rulers.
Yes. So I have to say X, and I will just quantify because X is general and Y is general. You can use universal quantifier. Uh, I will write and because and I have to copy somewhere. People of X and what is Y? A ruler of Y. So if X is a people and Y is a ruler and they assassinate, the meaning is they are not loyal to X is not loyal to Y. And then I will write for all X for all Y. So people of X and a ruler of Y and assassinate X comma Y if the output is not loyal to. Is the statement is right? If I have taken this as a universal quantifier, so obviously just you need to just tell me whether these statements are valid or not valid. If X represents people and Y represents a ruler and X assassinates Y, the output is they are not loyal to. Is that statement is right?
Loyal should be on left hand side, I think.
Which one? Which one?
Assassinate should be the output.
You see, the statement is people assassinated, then when they are not loyal to. So what is that you do? You wish to make is people of X, a ruler of Y, and then you wish to write this negation of loyal there. See, the meaning of the statement that I understood here is uh, people have done assassination. The reason is they are not loyal to. So I understood like this, like people have attacked them. The outcome is not loyal to. So your understanding is because not loyal to has come at the end of the statement, you feel that is the output. Is it right? That's what you're saying. So I'm just trying to strengthen my argument now. So like people only try to assassinate rulers they are not loyal to. If this assassinate comes that side, then you need to define loyal to. So just I think this is a better thing because the outcome of the entire statement is people have assassinated. The reason is they are not loyal to. That is what the meaning is. Just we'll go with this. If you are not able to prove the statement, I will get back and change this. Just will proceed. What I felt here is people has already attacked the person. The reason is he is not loyal to. That's what I felt that is the outcome. So when we try to apply this logic and we are not able to get the problem, then we'll try to think in a different context. Now see here, a very simple statement. Marcus tried to assassinate Caesar. So what can be the representation now? What can be the first order logic for this? See, did you get assassinate in the earlier statements? See, you have a assassinate with how many parameters here? How many parameters are there in that assassinate statement? How many are there?
2.
Same thing. Assassinate here will have two things, Marcus and Caesar. By this statement you need to understand here, sometimes the knowledge will have the specific instances like this. These are the specific instances because the Marcus, the value was given, this value was given. These are general statements. X can be anything, Y can be anything. This is a general statement. This is partially general and partially specific because here they are talking about Caesar, but they are not talking about X. Sometimes what that we do, we will replace the X with Marcus or something like that. So all these are specific instances. This is not a specific instance. This is a general because X is there. So this is a specific instance. This is a specific instance. So what is that we have done is, so we started here writing the first order logic from the starting point to the last point. And was Marcus loyal to Caesar? What is the representation for this? How many parameters loyal will have?
Two parameters.
Yes. So obviously the most important part is completed now. We have also completed the time also, 9:40 it is. Okay. So what is that we have done in the class is very simple. Like many times this question will be given for 16 marks, not for 10 marks. They will ask you to apply resolution mechanism or resolution inference mechanism to prove was Marcus was loyal to Caesar. This is what this query is. So the first step what that you do is you convert include in the question into first order logic. Then we will combine. It will take other 15 minutes to complete this. So obviously we will do it in the next class. So what is that we have done is every statement I have taken and converted this every statement into first order logic. So every statement was converted into first order logic, but what are the observations that I told here is sometimes the knowledge is specific like this. It is talking about Marcus and Caesar, but sometimes here the same assassinate, the values are general. But what is that I said is when assassinate was used in the earlier slide and before slide, it is better to have the same number of parameters. So if you wish to have different parameters in different slides, then you need to rename that assassinate 1 and assassinate 2. It depends upon the change the meaning will change with respect to the context. But as per this example is concerned, I have make sure that every time this loyal is used with 2 parameters. So loyal is there, loyal is here, everywhere loyal is there. But in general, here this is a general statement. It is a partially specific statement pertaining to Caesar, and many times it will be general knowledge. So obviously we have generated a first order logic from the natural language processing statements, and we try to infer something by using this first order logic, because first order logic can be understood by your prolog language. So we use these statements, to infer something. That infer something is what the answer that I have to make it for this. So in resolution, how do you start is, was Marcus loyal to Caesar? In general, what is that I do is, I will start with negating the premise that, see, I will take a negation of this and start proving that it is true. So the inference is wrong, something like that. We'll do that tomorrow. So if you have time, what is that you do is, you just practice how do you convert the statements into first order logic, because the first order logic we will be using it for the next 3 classes till Saturday, because we have resolution mechanism in the syllabus. We have some method to convert the statements into clause forms, and we need to see 2 examples which is pertaining to the resolution mechanism. So I know I have crossed this 9:40. Anyway, just I will take the attendance. So joining the, I'm not getting the number of participants is just 149. Timing is very important as far as the classes are concerned. That's what I feel, because being engineering students, you need to have some decorum in the terms of how do you practice timings, how do you plan yourself and all things. So 148 and 149 number is very less, because it is 195 students that we have in this class. Anyway, that is up to your discretion.